Andrew's Doers! Andrew knows everything. Proudly presents Fortithreerella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Fortithreerella. Fortithreerella had 10 ugly, mean stepsisters named Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Hannah, Rosie, and the twins Erin and Emily. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily made Fortithreerella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily all together. One day, the king of Tublingham's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Tubblingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son. Prince Tubbling. But Fortithreerella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Tubbling marry. Later, Fortithreerella is so sad that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Tubbling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Fortithreerella? Fortithreerella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Tubbling. Fortithreerella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic, and waved her magic wand. Because of that, all Fortithreerella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Fortithreerella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Fortithreerella has 43 pumpkins. Fortithreerella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the Fortithreerella's 43 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 86 strong horses. And then Fortithreerella's work clothes into a gown and crown. Fortithreerella said, I've never seen such a quadruple-tastic gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? Her fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, Fortithreerella. But I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Fortithreerella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Tubbling was wondering who he should marry. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, Emily all say together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Fortithreerella. Prince Tubbling then said, May I have this dance? Fortithreerella's friends, I would be delighted. Prince Tubbling and Fortithreerella danced happily together. But later, Fortithreerella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Tubbling was so worried that he might never see Fortithreerella again, so he traveled all around on a train door Quadranham to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the house where Fortithreerella and her stepsisters lived. But instead of Fortithreerella, Prince Trey Quadrigen Topling finds her stepsisters. He then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Farah was first, but her foot is too big. Olivia's next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of the feet were the right size. Suddenly, Prince Trey Quadrigen notices Fortithreerella singing. Fortithreerella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Trey Quadrigen back. And Prince Trey Quadrigen doesn't have to put the glass slipper back on her foot because it's so uncomfortable. Prince Trey Quadrigen and Fortithreerella then danced happily ever after. The end. And viewers, if you want to see some sequels, something like that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Fortithreerella 2, 43 Wishes Come True, a sequel to Fortithreerella, based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we, Andrew Doers? Once upon two times, Prince Trey Quadrigen Topling and Fortithreerella were happily married. But Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily have lots of tricks up their sleeves. Several weeks later, Fortithreerella is pregnant but sick. Fortithreerella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. Not a minute too soon. Fortithreerella is cured, and it was twin boys. Fortithreerella and Prince Trey Quadrigen Topling named them Odie and Teddy to celebrate their birth, a flying lantern. A few years later is the day of Odie and Teddy's very first day of preschool. Their teacher, Mrs. Primes, says, "Hello, Odie and Teddy. I'm Mrs. Primes, and I'll be your teacher this year." But before she could tour, Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily kidnap her. Odie and Teddy try to save her, but it starts to rain. "We need to seek shelter," said Odie. Teddy said, "Odie, over there! A cave!" Odie and Teddy go into the cave to get out of the rain. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, and Emily then throw Mrs. Price into the cave due to the rain. But they find a canyon in the cave. Mrs. Primes whimpers, "Mommy!" as she falls into the canyon. Odie and Teddy try to save her, but she's too deep underground. To make matters worse, a ledge breaks and that causes Odie and Teddy to fall. "Have a nice trip," said Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily all together. Luckily, Fortithreerella's fairy godmother flies to help. Odie and Teddy grab onto a branch with Mrs. Price on the toe. Fortithreerella's fairy godmother cast a spell to form a cushion to save them. And Mrs. Price said, "Odie and Teddy, congratulations. Not only do you get A's for class, but also A's for saving me. And best of all, this present is for being so respectful. It grants 43 wishes." And they all lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew's Doers, if you want to see Fortithreerella 3, maybe someday, Maybe this can be a big tradition. Take care! Bye!